Show you. This is the gentleman. Arthur, I believe his name is. Forget his last name. We'll just call him the judge. Let's get into that. This is this gentleman now. Again, this is before the court. This is just who he is. This is just how he is. This is what he thinks he's supposed to do as a judge. Listen up.
Now, I'm going to say something controversial, even though I'm being taped. Juries get it wrong a lot. That's my own opinion. I do only civil trials, personal injury cases, contract disputes. But I've had situations where, like, oh my heaven's sake, how could they have thought that? Well, I have a tool that I can deal with that. It's called judgment notwithstanding the verdict. I can say there is no possible way that a reasonable jury would have reached that conclusion. And all right, am I following the law or am I making law? Okay, I'm following law. I'm an impartial referee, but it's hard to factor out my own emotions. And I have tools. Somebody can say, well, Your Honor, you have to throw out this case because it's just like another case. Well, is it just like another case? What if the defendant was wearing a red sweater instead of a blue sweater? Oh, and by the way, I worked for the Columbia Daily Spectator for a couple of weeks. What happened was I went there every day and I wrote a few stories. One I got criticized on because I wrote that some Ku Klux Klanners had murdered some people, and I was told, you can't say that. How do we know? You weren't there. Well, that was what everybody thought. But anyway, yeah, we should have absolute immunity. What if we defame somebody? That's how it usually comes up. You know, you call somebody a murderer or a heroin addict, that sort of thing, a pedophile. And if it's done in court, yeah, I think we should have absolute immunity.
Wow. Holy. That's just how this guy thinks. So when Trump asks the question, well, like, how does this guy feels like he should be able to overrule and has trouble taking his emotion out of the situations. So when Trump says that this guy is a radical Democrat, that he's highly partisan, that he's an operative, I'm not going to say, listen, definitely Democrat. You can definitely tell just by the way he's talking. Definitely Democrat. Highly partisan, obviously, right? Because who isn't right now? Especially who isn't on the left highly partisan when they're sitting there in front of Trump being able to make sure that he goes to jail or is found guilty of a crime? You know, who's not going to be highly partisan? This guy is dangerous, in my opinion, to Trump. Maybe not to the public. You know, it probably wouldn't hurt a fly. But to Trump, in this situation, this man's very dangerous. This is not a man who's just sitting there hearing the facts. Okay, these people say, like, he's not just taking everything in and then weighing it and going, okay, this is the verdict. He's not doing that. He's thinking about his emotions. Maybe we should do this. And then I'll say it. He's probably thinking of his party. He's probably thinking of Trump. It's very hard to find a judge who wouldn't look unkindly at Trump, and they definitely wouldn't allow a judge in who was really happy with Trump and enjoys Trump and likes Trump a lot and votes Republican and voted for Trump. It'd be very unlikely that they would ever let a gentleman like that be the judge. And you think they don't have control to that extent, but they do. And I just want to play this again really quick because this is very wild for a judge to say.
Am I following the law or am I making law? Okay, I'm following law. I'm an impartial referee, but it's hard to factor out my own emotions. And
that's exactly what he's supposed to do as a judge. That is exactly what you're supposed to do as a judge. You're supposed to factor out your emotions. That's what you're supposed to do. And for him, it's hard. This is wild. So when you hear Trump, again, a lot of times people think Trump is just mad. He's doing what he always does. He's just calling people names. He's always yelling about the radical left. This is real. This is real. This is trouble for him, you know? And he's done nothing wrong, so he's going to come out just fine from this whole thing. But and here's the thing. If you heard this gentleman talking the way he's talking, you heard this guy talking the way he's talking, and you're on the left, and you're looking to get Trump some time, you're looking to get him guilty of some things, would you not be over the moon after hearing this guy say what he just said? You'd be like, this is our judge. That's it. We're putting this guy in. Can we have him do all the trials? Of course you would. This guy's everything you could want. If you're on the left and you're a part of this whole entity that's eroding society and the country, you would be over the moon to have this guy in your corner.